guess all you'll have to do is start the record button
Okay.
and then stop it.
Okay. Your survey is ready also. It's already ready already. Let me turn these off. Vanessa doesn't get one. All right.
Okay, we do have a quorum with all 5 members here. And the agenda, are there any adjustments to tonight's agenda? Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as approved?
So moved.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move right on into information, director's reports, and I will open it up to questions from the board. Hey, yes.
I have a question on the budget summary. I noticed that the teacherage amount went down by a pretty large percentage. That 72,000 that's unencumbered, are we having to do a lot of repairs at the teacherages, or?
We're doing some concrete work on the driveways in the front of the apartments.
Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, there's plenty in the fund. I was just thought, ooh, 72,000, that's a lot, but yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
I actually had somebody from the community contact me and say, what are they doing at the teacherages? I said, I'm sure it's great. And that was so concrete work sounds good. Sounds really good. Other questions? Thank you for sharing that information about the food service. I know we had talked about it last month, and it's great that we have the means to do that, to really kind of update a lot of that for our facility. So thank you for providing that. Okay, then I'm going to move right on into the superintendent's update.
You're going to find in the agenda that there is an artificial intelligence AI handout for you. And this is going to be informational. It's informational, and it's going to be placed in our handbook for procedures. So just working through this as it's coming along, quickly and evolving.
I noticed at the leadership retreat, a couple of the sessions are on AI, proper use of AI.
And I feel like as a district, we have been on top of it and ahead of the game a little bit, if you can be ahead of the game of AI. So, yeah, pretty proud of our team for embracing it.
Can I make one suggestion?
Sure.
On the, it says verify information sources to avoid misinformation. It says AI generated content may not always be accurate. Is there some way we can bold or highlight that? Because kids think everything they see online is
The truth. Okay, sure.
well, their parents do too, so.
Okay. Bold. Get it taken care of.
AI generated content may not always be accurate.
Okay, right. I made the note. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And then you will see that there is a letter to County Commissioner Sims. This was a donation that was provided to us in last year's fiscal year. We are very grateful and thankful for his contribution, and so we just wanted to thank him, and I want to thank him publicly for doing that for us. So. And it's not in our board docs, but our back to school welcome will be on Monday, July the 28th at Gann Cafeteria, and I will send you more specific information on
Is
that.
it lunch or breakfast?
Breakfast.
Okay.
Miss Vanessa will also send an invite.
You have sent information out? Did you already, or you will?
I will.
Okay.
I will, tomorrow.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And I believe that's it for my superintendent report. So stand for any questions.
Did you want to talk a little bit about the LESC?
Sure, I would love to.
Did a great job.
So Mrs. Maker and I traveled to Roswell together to speak to the Legislative Education Study Committee, LESC. And we had the opportunity to speak before the senators and that committee on our K-12 plus programming. And we provided some information to them and given them a suggestion, I guess, and we felt like it was well received. We did get some questions afterwards. Ms. Maker spoke for 2 minutes, which was the max, and then I was able to speak also as well. So before you have the printout of what we handed out to them. And hopefully we'll have some legs moving on this. Ms. Maker, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't think that one conversation will do it, but I think it certainly opens the door. And if we can get them talking and looking at it, so that's why I wanted to be sure that everybody had a copy of this. And thank you, Stephanie, for making it much prettier than what I had done. And, hopefully over the next few months, if we have other opportunities to share it, board members can certainly speak on behalf of the board and share that with other legislators. It can't hurt to try, I think there's relevance in it, but we'll see, so.
And I failed to mention, it's basically over our school calendar. That's what we went to talk about, so.
Okay. Questions for the superintendent? All right, let's move right on into routine matters. We'll take items 1 through 4 as part of the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
All right, thank you. Next item, budget adjustments. Is this the only month? I don't remember there being. So, all right. Thank you, Tanya. And no bids, so we will move into donations.
We appreciate the Leamington Youth Sports Organization for thinking of us. They have donated over $10,000 of equipment for our schools, 2 sets of soccer goals and a volleyball set, and specifically for Jefferson is the volleyball set. So my team and I will be looking to see where the best placement is for this. And again, I do want to thank the Leamington Youth Sports. So.
That's great.
That's pretty cool.
Will the volleyball setup be indoors or outdoors?
I'm sorry?
The volleyball setup, will it be outdoors or does it go in a gym?
It's in the gym.
In the gym.
And I also need to thank Norley. They went in half and half with the volleyball setup, so.
Great. That's great. Appreciate the support. And then the asphalt?
Yes, so this is for our band practice pad. And so they donated 10 yards of asphalt to us, which is
Is it
huge.
a new pad or is it same one where they have been?
It's new. Mhm.
Just south of,
It's southwest of, it's right in between the
Jesse's.
4th Hall wing and back behind the baseball field, softball field, so. Mhm. Yeah, and it's painted, striped and everything for our band to practice on, and since we turned that spot into a bus lane pickup drop-off, so they're excited about it.
Great.
So, but we're so thankful for Ramirez and Sons for doing that. That was huge.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we're sending thank you notes to.
On my list to do
Okay.
tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much to both of those organizations and their support of our district. So, all right, do I hear a motion to approve the donations as presented?
So moved. Second.
Okay, thank you. All right, old business. You didn't open up?
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet. Okay, old business, first item, second reading to consider updates to the teacherage policy, and I'll turn it over to the superintendent.
So we took the recommendations and made some revisions there, so just seeking feedback.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve the updated teacherage policy as presented? Okay.
Okay, it should be open.
Just gonna Betty. Usually mine is. But, all right, thank you. Next item, second reading to consider approval of policy advisories 265 to 269.
Okay, so the one adjustment we made was to advisory 267, which is our cell phone electronics. And we made some changes there, as you can see. And we added and deleted some things there. Any questions?
Okay, questions
So
from,
the kids can have them in the classroom, or they can't have them?
They will have them on campus, and then our classrooms will have the holders at the front of the classroom, and they'll be assigned a number. They'll put their cell phone in there beginning of class, they'll get it at the end. And then if the teachers are wanting to use the cell phones for instructional purposes, then they will clear that with the building administrator. Yes, ma'am.
That's in all classes, even like the elementary kids and have cell phones?
It's gonna have to be district-wide.
Yes, which is outrageous, but.
other comments or questions from the board?
Are we voting on all of it?
Oh, and then I have one more, I'm sorry. The water safety, which is, I believe, exhibit, what's the last one? I don't have it in front of me, but we have taken the law, and what you will see in front of you is the exhibit, the guidance, the water safety guidance. And this will be placed in our registration process in the handbook that they will have to look at. They have to sign that part that they've seen the handbook before they can continue with the registration. And this will be done according to the law within the first 10 days of school. And you will see on that water safety guidance what K through 5 they will do being water smart, the basics. And then 6th through 12th grade will do general water safety. And this can be conducted in science classes.
So the curriculum is done within the first 10 days?
Yes.
Okay.
The law states that it
I
has
thought
to
it
be
did.
done.
Okay,
Yes,
I just
ma'am.
wanted to make sure I understood what you said correctly.
And then you will find on our webpage, there's a link to what is going to be taught, what we're using, and the reason why we're doing this, the water safety resources. And I believe it's under the safety resources. Yes, yes.
Great.
It's ready to go.
Okay. So yes, to answer your question, Patty Ann, it is all of those policy advisories together. So did you have any other questions?
I had a couple of questions, I'm sorry.
No, that's what it's for.
On 265, the emergency plan stuff that we have, we did that big drill last year on in-service day, and teachers were taken out to the fairgrounds, and where are we on that again? Because do we need to do that once a year? Can we do that during their in-service days at the beginning of the year?
Right, so we will continue to do the safety drills, of course, and then we will always be doing district-wide as we're going. Right, Dr. Parker, do you have anything to add to that? And we're looking at January again.
Okay.
That seems to be the date that works best for our district.
Right, we'll be revisiting with Palms and Associates what we did, and then they'll be coming in December, I believe, if we set the dates where they'll go into classroom fortification at each site, where they'll individually go into classrooms and help students and teachers know what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
That's
Because
part of the
I've had some
requirement.
teachers asking, was that a one and done thing, or are we doing more
No,
with it?
we never, we told them it would be ongoing, so.
Well, in the classroom that I was in Josh Faith's classroom with teachers, and of course they had questions about what happens if like a bunch of elementary school kids are stuck in a classroom for a couple of hours. What if one of them needs to go to the bathroom? What if somebody fell and hurt themselves? Do we have toilet paper? Do we have liners for trash cans in case they have to go to the bathroom? Do we have emergency kits? Do we have snacks?
So Palms and Associates, they are working with us on all those things, and then we did send out some information to the district if they were able to ask some questions, and so we're taking, and then we met as a team. What are some things that we can do better? What are some things that we need to adjust? And so Dr. Parker has been really good at making sure Palms and Associates understands those questions, and they are working with us to get those questions answered.
Okay,
So.
all right, good, thank you. And then the defibrillators.
Yes. So we are way ahead of the time, and I believe it was probably, well, it's when I was the high school principal that the district had placed the AED machines in all the buildings. Even our Laces building has it. I believe our Erlacher Center has them. So we are well equipped, and our head nurse goes around and checks them to make sure that they are functional and good to go.
Who all is trained on how to use them?
We did a whole district-wide district training.
So everybody,
And then, of course, our athletic trainers are trained, our principals are trained, our nurses are trained. Yes.
okay, awesome, thank you.
Well, and I want to just, referencing back to what you were asking about some special circumstances at the different buildings, I do like the line in here that says discretion afforded each school with regard to administration of the plan. And so I think that enables that to have that, because there, like you said, there's going to be some needs at some buildings that may not be the needs at others. So I do like that we've got that.
Well, and there's so many more kids and people on the high school campus, I didn't know if we needed two up there, one in the A hall and one in the D wing. I won't call it D hall.
Do you remember where we have that?
Is it,
I know we have one in the A hall.
Good to see you, sir.
And the, yes, the Electric Center has one, the trainers have two,
oh, okay,
they have with them all the time. And, I think that might be,
okay, that's,
I'm guessing at the stadium as well.
thank you.
The trainers have it with them at the stadium.
Okay.
So they're in there for
Correct.
training.
Great.
and then we also have one, I think we have one that travels on a titty bus, and then we have, three others that go on the bus as needed. We have
It's
kids.
great. I like that we're so proactive on that.
Yes,
So.
yes, I love it. Thank you.
Any other questions on those?
So are we picking one or the other on these alternatives, or what are we, on the alternative?
On the
Two
se-
sixty-seven?
On the cell phone?
It was alternative two is the one that we were working with.
Two.
Yes, if that's.
Yeah.
What you guys agree with. And that's where you can find the corrections and additions and deletions.
Because there was a lot underlined in one, so that's the question really.
And the underlined is what came to us from the policy advisory.
Pretty much says the same thing, just flip almost, huh? I mean,
They're almost, it just gives that, doesn't put it on those principles. Isn't that correct? That, so, it's good. Okay, if there's no other questions, do I hear a motion to approve the policy advisories 265 through 269 as presented with the recommended changes?
I'll second.
Yep, right there. There you go. The only reason I knew is I did the same thing. Okay, thank you. Moving into new business. First item, consider approval and adoption of the athletic activity handbook.
So Mr. Murad did a great job of, with his new proposed handbook, and what he did was, the original one is very redundant, which we have spoken about. So he just went in and cleaned it up. He didn't take anything out or change that was policy. But he did rearrange sections so that it's better to read, it's easier to read, and it's in order, and it's not hopping everywhere. So He is not with us today, but I stand for any questions and can get with him shortly.
I have a feeling there's, some
I have a
people have
couple,
some,
yeah.
because, okay, did you highlight in blue? So did I.
Like you had
Okay,
two
so I'm gonna
pages over there.
turn it, because if it already gets mentioned, then I won't
Right.
mention mine.
I
Go
just
ahead.
have I think it's just a clarification question on, in the introduction and purpose, it references grades 6 through 12. But then in the document, it talks grades 7 through 12. I just wondered if those should need to be 6 through 12.
They need to
all the
align.
way through, right?
6 through 12.
And do you want to give the page number so that,
I didn't highlight every one of
Oh,
them
okay.
things.
Okay.
Page
You-
6,
okay. Okay.
7,
okay.
6 and 7, there's a bunch of it on there. Trying to remember why I highlighted this one.
There's a few that I'm,
I'm thinking of, what was I thinking this?
okay, while you're thinking,
Go
I
ahead,
will
yeah.
say on page 5, where it says qualifications for the athletic and activities director, and there's question marks. And so I'm thinking that's just a typo, but we certainly want that to be.
Page 5?
It is right, that's what it shows on mine, page 5.
Yep.
It's under the, it is recommended the athletic activities director be provided, and then it lists items, and the next thing is qualifications, but it has a question mark. It's a subcategory of the role of the athletic activities director. You're not,
They may have corrected that because mine doesn't have it.
oh,
I printed
okay.
mine this
Oh,
afternoon,
okay, so somebody caught it, okay.
I guess. What is,
There's 2 documents uploaded. There's the proposed and then the original. Are you in the proposed?
I thought I was looking at the proposed.
yeah,
Yeah,
25
So-
years, yeah.
okay. Should include, okay. I do wonder, when it says should include, is it shall include? Or, I mean, sometimes you get caught in the words of should and shall, and so is it a directive or a suggestion? On the qualifications should include, or is it the qualifications shall include? I know that sounds real ticky, but it can also come back to,
Oh,
yeah,
that's what you're saying. Shall.
I don't, HR, tell me your thoughts on that. Should and shall, those are the things that will get you.
So it says.
The qualifications should include, and it lists them, and I was saying, I wonder if it should say shall, okay. It should be shall. Yeah, well, okay, that's kind of where I was. Okay.
Yeah, that's what, you almost need to take out should, just say qualifications.
Yeah, that'd work too,
Yeah.
because it's not really a suggestion. That's right,
Because they do have to have administrative license, they do have to have all these things.
It includes the following, but there could be others.
that's right. Thank you. Also, moving down, I would say the page, but under responsibilities with coaches, and item number 3, the director will hold seasonal meetings with booster clubs. I'm wondering, does that need to be clarified prior to the season starting, or at a minimum? I'm just, a seasonal meeting is like when it's over, or I just didn't really know how.
To be more specific of when.
I think that booster clubs need to know before they get going on, I mean, that's my personal opinion.
I agree.
I just think that we found ourselves in lots of questions when they don't have the information, so.
Okay, so we'll take out the word seasonal and booster clubs prior to the activity. Athletic program.
Beginning of the, yeah, prior to the beginning of their season.
The season, prior to the season.
Of course, you know, it probably wouldn't hurt to do it way ahead, because some of those people start doing fundraising like for baseball far ahead of time. So,
On
have
that
one
s-
general meeting at the beginning, if they have the booster club set up.
Yeah, on that same page on number 12, it says, talks about the procedure of eighth grade participation. I wondered if we shouldn't include the younger grades too, if we're gonna allow that on the,
It's down somewhere else.
I know it's in here.
But I don't think we talk enough about the middle school,
Yeah,
junior
that's
high.
That's what
Yeah,
I was,
yeah,
I
we,
noted that back here, but I just didn't know if in this part, they should be part of the athletic activity director's responsibility with the coaches is to make sure they know the procedure of the,
So go ahead and include this, the sixth grade, or eighth grade in this part here.
I would say so, yeah. I think so personally, but, and I know it does talk a little bit about it, it doesn't talk much about it.
well, and I don't think it hurts to reiterate that point in this section where it talks about Lovington Middle School. I mean, even though, I think, because that's where we end up with lots of questions, and I think our kids and their families, everybody needs to know for sure where we are. I'm a little concerned when we get down into that middle school movement. Right now, it says volleyball, basketball, and track. I
When,
worry about naming sports. I know that, and then I wonder if there needs to be something in all of this to reference, we have to follow the border conference criteria.
The reason Mr. Murad named those sports is because that's what the border conference, they spell out which sports follow the rules. There's 5 different rules for our junior highs when it comes to the different sports, like cheer falls under a different category than track, than football, than volleyball and basketball. And I believe I emailed that document to you guys. We can place that in here if you would like. It's a whole separate entity, but that could be revolving too, which we would bring it to the board
Yeah,
each time.
and so I'm wondering just the reference to in following the border conference criteria, because this is not a district
Right.
thing. This is, we're being held to this border conference, and I think the clearer we are, the fewer
And
questions.
a border conference, and they'll know it came from a different authority.
Yeah, yeah,
If we reference NMAA in there. Because, yeah, cheer isn't a board conference event, so it's.
right.
But the others, we're bound by what Mexico Activity Association passes down. Right or wrong, so.
So the sentence itself may not be the problem, it's just adding a reference to that, because I think that
Right after this, number 12, just add a sentence there. Is that what you're saying?
I
I
was,
think this is
I was
down
down
on
in
page
the
38.
middle school movement over
on
there,
page 38.
38. Yeah.
Okay.
We jumped a little bit on that.
Yes, you did. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was still on page 10. Okay. Leamington Middle School movement. So
Yeah, item
we'll
one,
make a reference to,
I think, beginning it, per the, and you guys can play with the language, mandated requirements of NMAA approved board of conference criteria, because this is certainly not something the district
Yeah.
okay.
Well, and if
came up with.
as
And
it reads right here, you read that and it's totally, means something totally different than what the border conference is saying
That's right, that's right.
to a parent that's reading it, you know what I mean?
And I think that
And then when
will,
they don't get to participate in the.
I mean, they can try out, but they're not going to be able to participate in the board
Yeah,
conference.
and that's
No,
not
that-
fair.
That's this
Yeah.
right here, I mean,
so I think absolutely,
think
But
we need to
just in
reference.
certain sports.
yeah.
I know.
So when we reference, like say, the NMAA border conference, then Mr. Murad will have that document to share with any families, students, anybody that, needs some clarification, administrators, et cetera. So,
We will put that in there.
okay.
This is kind of all through the document, but I realized that the definition of coach is in here, where it means activity director also, right?
Yes.
Where the word coach is, but I was just wondering if, like on some of these headers, it wouldn't be better to put activity director / coach, so that it's very clear, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yes.
like on the evaluation of this, on the responsibilities. I just was thinking it might. And then there's a couple of places too where it reference, I think it's called what, the activities and athletic director, is that what its official title is? And then where it just references athletic director, so.
To make sure it's consistent with, okay?
On page 23, the facilities, I think I understand this, but I'm also curious, and maybe this is a different discussion on how other districts, it seems like the community gets to use the facilities, like during the summer, the track's open, or, you know what I mean? And it doesn't have to go through this, like, type of rental scenario almost, you
Is
know?
that track not open? The track's not available during the day?
No, so not all communities do that. I know that west of us, there's absolutely nobody to be on their thing in their facilities. South of us, the city helped pay
Okay.
Yes, I
for
know we did the
that.
research on that.
So
Those playgrounds
that's
are
why
half owned
that's
by the
open.
city.
Okay,
I'm very concerned about wear and tear in
Yeah.
funding.
yeah, no, that makes sense, I just didn't know, I didn't realize, I guess, that the city,
And we need to know who's in our facilities.
sure,
I mean, and we're talking about liability too. I mean, if they're in there just whenever they want to be in there and then an accident happens on our property, it's not good. So,
I know this is taking some time and I appreciate your patience, but this is something that board members get a great deal of questions on. And so I think that's kind of been
the superintendent.
yeah,
so.
yeah. And so the clearer that we can all be,
This
I
is
think
good.
it helps all of us.
Yes.
Do you have another one?
I think that's.
I do like ensuring that the colors are royal blue and white. I know we'd gotten away. I think it was just a gradual thing to where we were seeing a lot of black. And so I like that. One question I do have, and we may have talked about this before. Are we as a district or sports tied to a certain brand of ordering? Because that has been asked of me we are supposed to buy this brand, not this brand. And is that at a sport level? I just didn't really know.
So, in short, and I can get you more information, but we have a contract with a certain brand,
Okay,
right? And so at the end, they provide points
okay,
to us at the end. But there are some sports that brand does not provide, they don't make for that sport.
okay,
Okay, like tennis. Let me give you an example for tennis.
Oh, okay.
They might not have the uniforms or the shoes to order from that particular brand. So then within our
They do their
contract,
own
we can go
shoes.
to the other part of the main contract that is housing.
okay. So we aren't technically a certain district, but we currently have a contract through.
For the majority, we are a certain district because of the contract that we have signed. with
Okay,
that
and is
entity.
that an annual contract or is it?
You know, I'd have to look. It's either a 1 year or a 3 year. I'll have
Okay.
to look.
Okay,
And I can get that information
Okay.
for you.
Was that the company that we're getting the $11,000 rebate from to help?
That's the main company. And then within it, they have a major entity that's tied to that contract.
yes,
I feel like I'm speaking in code. So,
yeah. Okay, that was just a question I had, but I do like being sure that we reference the royal blue and white.
yes.
Any other questions?
Not Ms. Maker, there is one sport that does not wear the blue or white because of the uniform that they're required to wear. And it is more for It's our powerlifting group.
Oh, yeah, oh.
I cannot put
no,
them in blue
no.
or white powerlifting
No.
singlets, so they will be wearing black with the blue
But
and
if
white.
I remember correctly, they had either blue or white
They do.
t-shirts
We
underneath.
do
Yeah.
have that underneath, but I just
Oh, yeah, no. No.
can't do that to
We
those
don't do that to
babies.
kids. We do not do that to
Can't do
kids.
that.
No,
So, I'm like,
no.
I'm sorry, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there are no other questions, then do I hear a motion to approve the athletic activity handbook with the noted changes as presented?
So
That, just to be clear, that's all the changes we discussed just now? There wasn't anything?
That's my understanding, is the things that we discussed would be put on, that's what we're improving, is.
Bring it back if you want to in August. You can make the changes for one more.
Would you feel better about that?
I
I
mean,
kind of would.
Yeah, I think, let's
Yeah,
see the.
and I would
I'd
really
to
like
see
Mr. Murad to be here because I know he worked really hard on this, so, okay.
Well,
So,
and that's, yeah,
in August, we're well into school, so can we have Mr. Murad go ahead and meet with some of the booster club people before this comes out?
Sure.
We're like 3 weeks into school and football and volleyball and cheer and.
okay, so not receiving a motion on this, do I hear a motion to table this?
so move.
Okay. We'll revisit this in August. It will be, for final approval, it will be an action item, and it would take effect immediately. So, but if you look through and see some other little typos and things, because it doesn't matter how many people look at it, we always notice something later, so. Okay, great, thank you. All right. All right, we're gonna move right on into the first reading to consider policy updates to policy I-500. Oh, okay, well, we motioned it and tabled it and I moved on. Okay, so we have a second to table it.
Yes.
Because Bradley did do the motion. I was done. Okay, sorry, Vanessa. You're supposed to just jump right along. Okay, that item has been tabled until the August meeting. Okay. Now we'll move into the second item, first reading to consider updates to policy I-500.
Yes. So back in, I believe, November of 2024, I brought before the board to consolidate freshman academy Leamington High School into one campus for several reasons. Streamline reporting, data collection, analysis, academic alignment, campus structure, and funding. And so we sent it off to the PED, and we just received word on June the 30th that they have approved to combine LHS and Freshman Academy. What you see before you is the policy 05I-0500, and we just need to make the correction here within this policy due to the approval from the PED. Basically, there will be 3 levels of instructional program. Elementary school will be pre-K through 5th, and middle/junior high school will be 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then the high school will be 9 through 12th. And so it's just making that align with our policy, the approval.
I'm gonna ask that we be consistent in our wording. The first bullet, we use the term 5th, but the rest of them, we do the number. We don't do 6th, 7th, and 8th. And so
Change
I
it to-
think, yeah, we need to be consistent in our wording on that.
Okay.
So we sent it in November, and June 30th, they got it back to us with the approval.
Yeah.
Yes, right in time before the.
That's great.
Yeah, I
Enough
do.
said on that, huh?
Want to thank Miss Stevens because she, I said, hey, have you heard anything? And she got on it, and here we have it. So, I think I don't know what I think. Move on to the next one.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, so, okay, so that is a first reading, and so we will just bring that back up in the August meeting. Okay, third item, first reading to review policy G, sections 0050 to 1835, along with the exhibits. It is a first reading, so I will open it up to questions, comments. We'll
Yes.
start with the superintendent.
Did you guys feel like you had homework?
Do what?
Did you feel like you had homework?
Already perfect.
So, this is the first reading, so I'm just opening up to see if you guys had any questions, suggestions.
No. So much of this particular group is mandated language. There's not a lot of flexibility on a great deal of this. I just was wanting to double check some of our exhibits, because sometimes when we're doing policy changes, we don't get the exhibit adjusted, and so that was
Right, so
the only-
Ms. Maker, I'm working real closely with the HR department, and we are gonna be updating those exhibits, and they will
Yeah,
be
that's
for you for
hard.
the second
Yeah.
reading.
So, but yeah, I did notice on this one that a great deal of it is language that must be followed specifically.
That is correct.
So at this time, are there any, this was the one under G 1790. The second page, the last bullet.
The yellow highlight.
The yellow highlight, yeah.
I have it on.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I
We'll
figured
get
we
that
would go
fixed.
ahead and name our districts. Okay, so that was the one that I did have on now, so.
Vanessa, can I get you to print that out for me, please?
Chief Printer,
It should be on your,
You got it somewhere.
She printed it out for everybody.
Okay, so that is a first reading, and if you have any questions as you read through it, please don't hesitate to reach out prior to the August meeting.
Yes.
Okay, next item, public comment time. Seeing nobody here that I believe is interested in speaking in public comment. This ends the regular portion of the set of tonight's meeting. Do I hear a motion to move into executive session?
Ms. Ansel,
Yes.
Mr. Bishop,
yes.
Mr. Dunlap. Yes. Mr. Seeley. Ms. Maker.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's take 5 minutes. Thank you, guys.